Hey everyone, welcome back. Okay, so last time I went over this whole async await operator situation and just demonstrated how it works and how it can behave similar to how the promises behaved. So it was important that I covered that early on because we're going to use this kind of thing throughout the course. And I know some of you might be thinking, just tell me how to insert this user. We've been waiting for 5 videos now. But I know, it's coming, don't worry. It's on the way. We are getting there slowly but surely. We'll be inserting a user into our database in no time. It's just very important that we cover these basics, at least to form a foundation, you know? And I know that async await stuff and promises and asynchronous code is just really confusing for beginners. Believe me, I know that. It took me ages to understand this sort of thing. It's kind of you kind of only get a full grasp of how it works by using it. I remember spending ages trying to learn this stuff by reading explanations, and it just didn't seem to sink in. So I don't want to spend loads of time going over this in so much detail because I know from my own experience that you learn by doing. So I'll be here to answer any questions you have about this, but I do think that as we use this more through the course, you'll gain an understanding of how it works, okay? So just bear with me, and we'll get there. Okay, so we can actually get rid of these console logs. They were only there to show you something. But one thing I do want to do real quick before we move on is I want to add a catch block to this. So although we've added the await key right here, if this whole user.find1 throws some error, it will still go to a catch block. So we can just catch any errors we get. So let's just put an error block in there. So we can do an arrow function like this. It will have one parameter passed into it, which is the error. So we can just in there put console.log error like that, and then we can do whatever we want to do with that error. So we're logging the error for us to see, but for the user, maybe we just want to register the error with some error message. So what we can do is copy the code from this else block down here. Oops, I scrolled up, and then just paste it in there. And what we can do is just set the error message as, I don't know, something went wrong. Something went wrong, because this means, oh, make sure you spell it right. This means that there was some error in the database or with MongoDB or something. So we've logged the error for us to see, but the error message that the user will see is just something went wrong, and we've just returned to the register page. Okay? I'm going to refactor this towards the end of this section, so don't worry that we're copying these 2 lines of code. We're going to refactor this, so bear with me on that. Anyway, let's check if a result was found. So we're going to say if user equals null, then this means there was no user found. So I'll just leave a comment there. No user found, and we can go ahead and insert. Then we're going to say else. And then in there, this is where we found a user which matches that username or email. So user found. So here we need to show an error message to the user. So if it did find a user, this user object that we have right here, it will contain that document, which is essentially that row in the table, if you want to think of it like that. Okay. So we can actually check this, and we can say if email equals user.email. So keep in mind that email is the value that the user entered into the text box. So if the email matches the user was found, we can say we'll take this payload.error message, and we'll copy that, paste it there, and we'll just say email already in use. Okay, and then what we can do after that, we can say else, and I can paste that again, and we can just say username already in use, because we know that if it wasn't the email that matches, it must be the username which matched. So yeah, and then we can just render the page. So I'm going to copy this line right here. Like I said, we're going to refactor this. Don't worry that we're copying a lot of code right now. And this should take care of it. So if it did find a user with any of those matches, it will hopefully show that error message to the user. Of course, we can't test that right now because we don't have any users. So yeah, don't worry about that. We'll come back and test this once we actually have inserted. So yeah, that's it. Okay, now we're ready to insert the user. We got there eventually. Now we are going to insert a user into the database. We made it. But we'll do it in the next video. I don't want this video to get too long, plus we've already covered a bunch of topics. So it's coming, we're there now, but see you in the next video.